Finally, what's going on, CALIVEGANs, and welcome into another episode of the CALIVEGAN podcast. Finally live. So today I'm going to go through just some of the most common questions that I got lately regarding how to build muscle as a vegan. For the people joining, this is an interaction-based live, okay? So any questions that come to your mind, drop them in the chat, or even better, in the question box, because I like to have those interactive and not just me ramping up, so I can actually giving you the information that you're looking for, whether it's something about what I'm doing or something that's going to help you in your fitness journey. So again, drop some questions so we get this live going. I actually wanted to talk about my addiction first, because I cracked addiction, guys. I absolutely cracked addiction, and I solved the problem with another addiction, which is nicotine gums. And I know what you're thinking. Oh man, that's another addiction. It's bad. Yeah, but I noticed that it does really takes away that constant thought of wanting to use any kind of substance. Really, actually, I've been sober now 1 week. So this is my second week sober. And last week my two girlfriends, they were here drinking alcohol, and I was really satisfied by chewing my nicotine gum. I bought the first one, and I noticed it wasn't vegan. Actually, there was gelatin in it. And then I found this other brand that I found into veganmeds.com, and is actually vegan. It's called Nicorrect. So I'm getting high on nicotine, and it seems like nicotine actually has some positive effects when it comes to focus. For what I have understood so far, it doesn't really have negative outcomes apart from being addictive, right? So let's get to the questions. For the ones that are live, guys, again, this is an interactive kind of content creation. I want you guys to ask me the questions, and I will go with that. Okay, I don't want to come here and then just ramble about things and going random. So drop the questions. Obviously, I actually wanted to talk about protein, and because it's always the most common argument and that people want to talk about. And here we have the first question about protein. Was the food that I consume with protein, is it soy? And so I always give the same answer to this. I do not think of food as which food is going to get me protein. I think as protein intake as something that comes from the sum of all the food that I eat. Everything has protein. All plant food has all the amino acids as well, at different level. Arguably. So, right, this is not a science-based opinion that I'm giving, but if we look at animals, they are most animal, herbivores and frugivores, they are mono food. They mainly eat one food. So you would say, oh, they are protein deficient? I don't think so. But anyway, when it comes to the amino acid profile in plants, you will get different amino acid profile based on the food that you eat. So different plant food have different protein amino acid profile. So as long as you have a variety of them inside of your diet, you are good to go. Now, in order to, I guess, to make sure that my protein intake hits that 1.4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, I think most of my protein comes from legumes. Okay, you know, a lot of people are fixated on soy as it's a special food, but you know, it's just another legume, really. Okay, so legumes in general are the highest protein source, you know, the highest protein content food that I eat, and I have them for lunch and for dinners. But grains have protein. Vegetables actually have a good amount of protein, you know, protein ratio with their caloric intake. So, you know, I think if I remember right, spinach might have 4 grams of protein per 100 grams, and 100 grams of spinach is like, I don't know, 40, 60 calories. You know, I don't have the exact number, but you know, if you have 300 grams of spinach, it's cooked. It's not even that much, and you're getting more than 10 grams of protein. So protein comes from everything, right? Stop listening to people that says, oh, nuts are not a good source of protein just because it's higher in fat. Nuts have protein inside, all right? So, and you need those protein too. That's it. Back in action, yes, Jayton. Do I have, so guys, drop some questions, all right? Drop some questions, get this going, and please leave a like, leave a comment. If you are watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to interact, come to my Instagram, Stefano Vegan Calisthenics. Do I have 2 girlfriends? Yes, I'm polyamorous. I'm very convinced that I want to be to be polyamorous. Like, it just fucking scare me to approach a monogamous relationship. Like, I'm just not happy. I'm just not happy. I realized, and as I navigated, you know, polyamory, I looked back in my life and in my relationships, and I realized that, you know, I'm just less of a man if I don't feel my desire of having more than one girlfriend. And it's not a crazy thing. It's not like I want a lot of girls or stuff. Actually, having two girls that give me a different attention, a different kind of attention, it's enough for me. Actually, you know, mostly I'm happy with my girlfriend. I just want that extra spice in it, and having threesome is great. You know, like, I don't know, men listening to this, let me know what you think about having threesome, but they are freaking great. So yeah, I have 2 girlfriends, a main one and in the other one, which I haven't necessarily chosen myself. My girlfriend got with her first, and then it happens that we connect all together. Protein is no excuse for animal abuse. That's a great point. You know, like, being vegan is 100% about wanting to reduce suffering in the world and not harming animals. And I think even if, and I truly believe it's not the case, but even if having more protein would give you better results in the gym and in strength, like, it would not be an excuse to keep murdering animals and just to get more protein. And anyway, you can get more even if you want to get 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, which is unnecessary. And I suggest you completely, you know, eliminate that thought from your brain that you need that, because you don't. But even though you are you're brainwashed from marketing and all the fitness, you know, like all the bro science that's out there, or this just freak of fitness and bodybuilder that would sell their mom in order to get an extra gram of muscle, you can still do it on a vegan diet. You can have, you know, more protein shakes and fake meat. I do think that at the end, you know, I haven't been able to hit like 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight with whole plant food. I think you can do it. But it's not a nice way of eating, I believe. You know, you're going to have to reduce fruits and nuts, right? So, and I think those are the the healthiest food. So it wouldn't make sense to me to reduce my fruits and vegetable intake to implement protein powder and fake meat just to get an unnecessary amount of protein. Enjoy your day, Stefano. Need to rush to work. What's up, man? What's your favorite bean legume? Lentils. Lentils is my favorite. And the curious fact about lentils is that I loved lentils even when I wasn't vegan. Like I remember as a kid, I would ask my mom for a pasta with lentils. Loved it. So, and it still is. And the curious thing is that I think that most people actually have lentils as their favorite legumes. Let me know in the comment what's your favorite legume. And again, for the one that are live right now, keep smashing and dropping questions, because this is an interactive way of creating content. I do not want to come here and just talk about random stuff. I want to interact with you. Namaste. Wow, Puji, my friend. I don't know what you're talking about. Chris, hello. How do you feel about the competition? Feel like you'll crush it? No. Feel like I'm crushing it? No. It's the competition for me is a way. Here's the thing, okay? This is going to help beginners as well. Obviously, I'm super committed to fitness and my fitness goals, and it does make me feel good, and I want to get stronger. So I have clear that the discipline and consistency towards my fitness journey has positive effect to my life, and saying no to it is just has negative impact. So I'm just committed to it every single time. Okay, I take it seriously, just as a baseline. But competition gives you that extra motivation. All right, so if you're a beginner, probably the motivation, the competition within yourself, it's enough to get you going. You know, like just saying, I want to eliminate that fat. I want my arm to have some kind of muscle. I want to feel like I can dominate pull-ups and dips. You know, that motivation, that competition against yourself should be enough. You shouldn't need wanting to go to a calisthenic competition, a bodybuilding show, you know, whatever. Your life goal of wanting to become a better version of yourself should be enough of a competition. But once you get to my level, for example, even though, again, as a baseline, I am committed to my fitness goals. I'm committed to my training, and because getting stronger makes me happy. All right, that progress that I have in training allows me to be happy even when other things in life are not going well. So I'm always 100% committed to it. Okay, but competition gives me that extra motivation. You know, it gives me something to work towards. it's also a great experience, all right? And actually, another thing that I should say about competition, I was listening to a Huberman podcast about testosterone, all right? So testosterone, it's big for men. It's important for libido, energy levels, obviously muscle growth. But however, if you're training if you're doing strength training, your testosterone is kind of going up as a consequence of it. So what he was saying is that competition, all right, competition is one of the things that actually increase testosterone. And it's not about winning. It's not about winning or losing. It's just about competing. Because when you compete and you're facing someone that might be stronger than you, you have that anxiety. Even if it's only yourself, that you have some expectation from yourself as a way of how you're going to perform. That that anxiety and facing that fear, that's what's going to increase your testosterone. Okay, so in a man life, competing is so important and should be part of your of life as a man. If you wanna, really scale it to the next level, fighting. I think fighting is it really boosts your testosterone. And so going back to the Jayton question, how do I feel about the competition? Guys, when I've done my first competition, I've realized that I'm very far from the level of these guys. Like, I don't know if you understand what I'm going to say, but the competition is doing 5 muscle ups. You need to do 10 pull-ups, hold the top part of the pull-up for 10 seconds, and then doing 5 more pull-ups. Then you're going to do 15 dips. Then you do squats, fucking useless. Bodyweight squats. Then you do bodyweight squats. And that's 20 seconds holding the bottom part, 20 repetitions, and then 20 seconds again holding the bottom part. Then you go into 30 push-ups. After the 30 push-ups, you have to do 5 muscle ups. Now, this transition is something that I really don't manage very well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. In my last competition, I wasn't able to do muscle ups after all this, especially after 30 push-ups. It's a crazy amount of strength and strength endurance that you need in order to do that. It means that you can do 15 muscle ups in a row. And I'm not talking about CrossFit muscle up. I'm talking calisthenics muscle up, when it's all strength and the repetition don't count if you use your knees or you don't go all the way down. So proper muscle ups after all this, it's very difficult to do. And then after the muscle ups, you go back to leg and you do lunges again. Fucking I think here, because in Italy, for example, they don't have legs in the calisthenics competition, and now I don't agree with that. I think they should have some leg work in the calisthenics competitions. But if you have to put body weight leg exercises, I don't know, like, it's a bit ridiculous. They should have pistol squats in the competition. You need to do 10 pistol squats. That's hard to do during the competition. And that would make more sense to me. Anyway, after the 20 lunges, I think 15 lunges, I think each leg, you move to dips, and then you go back to pull-ups. I think it's 15 dips and then 5 pull-ups or 10 pull-ups to finish. You have 7 minutes time to do all this. So, how do I feel about the competition? I feel like I've done some more specific training for it, doing more volume. So I'm sure I'm going to finish it in 7 minutes, okay? I don't know about the muscle ups part. If I see that I'm struggling too much with them and I really cannot do it, I'm just going to fail the repetitions and move forward with the circuit. So do I feel like I'm going to crush it? I think I'm going to do better than last time. So let's say yes, I'm going to crush it. And my goal really at this point with the calisthenics competitions, it's being a presence for veganism. I have the vegan tattoo. It says animal defender here. And they also allow us to say a few words before starting the circuits. And last time I said, what I would like to do with this exhibition is breaking some of the stereotypes that people have around veganism, and showing that you can be strong and muscular without having to abuse animals. Jayton says he also likes lentils. So guys, drop questions if you have them. This is an interactive way of creating content. I don't want to just ramble. I don't even know if ramble is the right word, by the way. I am 65 kilograms and my protein is mostly 50-60 grams. So 50-60 grams is it's going to be great for to be a healthy individual. Now, what usually the message from the fitness industry is that by eating 50-60 grams of protein, if you weigh 65 kilograms, which is less than 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight, it's kind of not going to get you any results, right? This is the wrong message that is pushed out there. You can build muscle even if you eat a lower protein intake. Now, do I suggest being so low if you want to build muscle? No. Do we have proof that lower amount of protein like that is still going to get you results? Yes. You have strong fruitarians out there, and the study themselves show that you can make progress. Dr. Niagara, in an interview with the Hench Herbivore, and I always mention this, he talks about the benefits of eating more proteins when it comes to building muscle, and really the benefits from eating more protein, comparing 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight to 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight is only 8%. All right, so you are not, if you're not building muscle, it's still not the protein intake, it's because you're not getting stronger within your workout. Protein intake does not have any impact on your, yes, no, actually kind of not. It seems to me that it's irrelevant, the benefit of protein when it comes to strength progress. Listen, here is how training works. There is a principle that is called SAID, S-A-I-D. Specific adaptation to imposed demand. It doesn't say anywhere specific adaptation to given protein intake or to given nutrition approach. Specific adaptation to impose demand. Right, so to build strength and muscle, you have to have a training that allows you to progress over time, to apply progressive overload. Okay? So 50-60 gram if you weigh 50-60 gram of protein if you weigh 65 kilograms is great. You're doing fine. You're a healthy individual. You're still going to be able to build muscle. But I suggest you up it a little bit. It shouldn't be difficult to eat 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight at least. Maybe you're not eating enough legumes. Just having legumes for your lunch and your dinner should be doing the trick. Will you compete in street lifting? You have very good numbers. I don't know what my numbers are now because I stopped doing weighted calisthenics to focus more on strength endurance work. However, I do have very good numbers. So talking about my maxes, I can do. I've been able to do in the past dips with 90 kilogram, 1 rep, and pull-ups 1 rep with the 60 kilograms. So those are actually those are good numbers. When it comes to higher repetitions, I've been able to do. I was doing 5 reps of dips with 65 or 60 kilograms, if I'm not wrong, and I was doing pull-ups with the 3 repetitions or 4 with 45 kilograms. So I believe those are good numbers indeed. But it's just less fun. Street lifting, you go there and you do 1 rep, and it really comes, and you know who's going to win. Like you're not going to the competition and numbers are going to change. If your max is 60 kilograms, 60 kilograms is what's going to happen in the competition. Maybe 62 kilograms, but you know what's going to happen. On the other side, with the strength endurance competition, it's just more fun. You can push yourself more to go faster and do that extra rep. So, will I compete in street lifting? Yes, again, because I think competing is fun, and you are surrounded by like-minded individual. You meet like-minded people, you do good friends, right? So will I compete? Yes. Will I win? And I don't know, man. The numbers in street lifting are crazy, I wanted to say it before, I forgot, thanks to my ADHD. I'm not going to repeat the circuit that you need to do for this strength endurance calisthenic competition. But imagine you have to do all that circuit, all those reps at high intensity, so difficult exercises, and then if you win, you have to do a battle. Like last time, the battle of the winners it started with 10 muscle ups in a row, and they were able to do all the 10 strict muscle up in a row without breaking it. And then you do more pull-ups, you do more dips. I mean, it's crazy. The level is crazy. Can I get to that level? I think so, with time and obviously more specific work. But at the end of the day, what I've heard from other calisthenics athletes that are more into strength, endurance, competition is that the main focus should always be getting stronger. So bring your 1 rep max up, and once you're there, you can build up the endurance, right? So I think what I've been doing so far in my training is the right thing to do. What I have to do though next year is when we get closer to the competition, like 2 to 3 months, I need to be more focused on strength endurance. And next year we'll really see what I can actually do. Another thing with this year is that I wasn't doing muscle up training at all. So I wasn't doing muscle up. So imagine I've been able to do muscle ups without training for it. I wasn't doing muscle up for a 6-7 months period. So you can imagine, that was definitely not my best. I can do better. I look great. Thank you. What are we doing here? Chris Moses? I let you in, man. I don't know. What's the craziest interaction I've had while doing activism? By the way, if you need to ask questions, it's much better you do it in the asking questions box, because it's difficult to actually scroll the freaking comments. But anyway, what's the craziest interaction that I've had during activism? I think has been close to when I went to a town here. So definitely I was going to expect more closed-minded people. You know, when you are in the big cities, it's easier to have tourists and people that actually already know about veganism. You know, they're, you know, big cities usually they progress towards new things and more effective way of living faster, you know, compared to towns where they are more close-minded. And it was the first time I actually have a strong anti-vegan view in real life. Usually I have anti-vegans debates and comments online, but not really on the street. And there was this vet really pushing the fact that vegans kill more animals because of crop deaths, and he was very upset that I was talking with his child about pushing these views about veganism. You know, usually, you know, I didn't mind really moving forward in the conversation with this person. I just told him that it's very dumb to think that a movement that it's all about reducing animal suffering is killing more animals, and that even though perhaps there are better way of farming animals compared to monocrops and plants, you know, plants monocrops, you know, you can still improve by, you know, buying local plants and organic plants where there is a lot of pesticides used. But the problem is that because of this non-vegan mentality, when you really want to consume animal products and abuse animals, you don't even think about improving plant agriculture. So the reason why there is a problem in plant agriculture when it comes to not treating insects and the animals around plants agriculture ethically, it is because we are in a non-vegan world. Like, if plant farmers were vegan, we would work together to solve this problem. Something that people also need to understand, these anti-vegans, is that activists like me, we're not like responsible of everything. What I want you to understand that is wrong to abuse animals, and the best and most practical thing that you can do in this society and modern world is stop buying the products that come directly from the breeding, enslavement, torture, and murder of animals, obviously. And yeah, like, also I do believe that protecting crops from insects, because otherwise they're going to eat everything and destroy all the food, is different than, you know, than systematically breeding and murdering animals. I have a question. I see people that eat ultra-processed food, even though maybe we all know that it's terrible for our body. The response to words that is, I need to fuel my body from training. I talked about this earlier. It's the misconception that people have around protein. You don't need to focus on protein. Actually, the thing is, we should. It's just more important to focus on health rather than protein. Now, having some processed food in some of your diet is not unhealthy. You know, that's not my message. But I think it's more important to focus on health. The more plants you have, whole plants you have inside of your diet, the healthier individual you are. Especially for normal people. Like, usually normal people are sedentary, right? And they do their workout. So they may burn during the day 2,500, 3,000 calories per day, and you know, you need to choose wisely what you're eating. And it doesn't make sense, again, to me, to take away health food to add processed food just because you want to increase your protein intake, when in reality it's not even necessary, because you can anyway get 1.6 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight just eating whole plant food, right? There are different ways you can do it. Like, again, legumes in your main meals is an important one, but you know, also grains and vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, they all have protein, and you can hit those amount of protein. It's just this obsession over eating those high number of protein that people are very attached to, but it's just unnecessary. I noticed also that you didn't really make a question. It was more of a statement. It needs a lot of endurance. Yes, calisthenics endurance, it's absolutely crazy. It just makes me crazy how for some people it's just normally to eat ultra processed food. It doesn't have to be... it doesn't have to be not normal, you know, like... We see nutrition as something completely different from the rest of what we do in society, but it really is the same thing, right? Like, we live in houses. Would you live on a tree just because it's more natural, right? So I don't think having, you know, the fact that the food is processed, it's necessarily unhealthy. I'm more focused on the reason why people add these processed food, which is increasing their protein intake, and that there is no need to do that. And in my opinion, it's healthier to have more whole plant food. I'm repeating myself, but this is really one of my big, coaching point. What do you find to be a great booster in your diet? I don't know. I don't know what's the question. What do you find to be a great booster in your diet? Nothing. I don't know, like plants. The more plants, the better. Boost. Actually, I do. I think I do have an answer. I find that if I eat more fruit, my energy levels are better. So if I go above the 5 pieces of fruit per day, I think that usually makes me feel more energetic. So fruit I think is the most powerful food. Is eating rice and potato sufficient? Rice and potato sufficient? I mean, you survive, I guess, but I don't think you're optimizing your health. Even though there is, I don't remember the name of this guy, I'm sorry, but he's a very big and famous plant-based vegan doctor, okay? So he does talk a lot about the ethics of veganism. When it comes to nutrition, he talks about plant-based, which is the right thing to do, because veganism is not about nutrition. And, most of us, we have the thinking that the healthiest food is fruit and vegetables, okay? But he says that through studies, it seems for him that the healthiest foods are actually grains and legumes. Again, I am not big on studies, guys. I think that blindly following studies is not necessarily always the right thing to do. Studies are just another thing to consider when we make choices, okay? But, if we follow studies, we can also justify the consumption of animal products, depending on what studies it is and how they've made those studies. So the answer is always in the middle. I think the best way to go is more whole plant food, the better. Eat enough calories. Do not overstress about protein. Eat a lot of fruit. Make sure that you eat healthy fats as well. That's it, For the last competition, you found out too late, but because as you exercise consistently, you said you were satisfied with how much you could do. Yeah, I was surprised actually of what I did in the competition. Hi from a calisthenics vegan from Italy. Keep it up, bro. Ciao, Alessandro. Maybe we are close to the end. You know, guys, I don't know if it happened to you, but I found that there are a lot of African vegan orphanage or animal shelter that are actually scams. So be careful with that. I don't know how to recognize which are the good one and the bad one, because it's easy to make a fake account if they just repost, for example, videos and they look like they're actually doing the work, but they don't. But yeah, I found that that's a problem actually. Brother, can you help my orphanage organization for kids here in Uganda? And I don't want to, that might sound selfish to some people, but when it comes to helping, because I do activism myself, when it comes to help others, I prefer to do it in where I am. Okay, so maybe I help homeless people that are outside of the supermarket, I buy them food. For the animals, I do activism, and when it comes to money, I do need actually money to support often my activism, whether it's transportation or buying the material. So usually I'm not really into donating money, but just because I feel like I am doing the help directly. Let me know what you think about that. I think that, you know, like if you want to help animals, you want to help others, but you're not an activist, you know, you don't volunteer for things, you don't want it, you don't have time, it's not practical for you, then maybe the best first thing to do is actually donating to organizations that you find are worth investing. Did you watch Critspiracy? No. Is it on Netflix? Jackson. You know, guys, there is a couple of anti-vegan haters that love me. Why do you look so weak? Aren't you, and why aren't you a bodybuilder? I look weak? Do I? Let me know in the comment if I look weak. I mean, that's a good arm. Look at this. It's almost my hand. Why aren't you a bodybuilder? I don't like bodybuilding in general. You know, I am. Before I was more judgmental, let's say, about bodybuilding, but I understand that everyone do whatever they like, you know, and if they like to compare their body beside someone else and they like to pose, I think it's great. But it's not for me. I don't like the concept. I don't think it's a good sport. You know, you need to actually become unhealthy in order to get that shredded. So it doesn't make sense to me. Why is this person asking me always if I do surf? No, I don't do surf. All right. Questions finished for today. All right, thanks guys for watching. If you are on YouTube, drop a comment, leave a like, let me know what you want me to talk about in these lives, and if you want to interact, come to Instagram and let's do this together. Today is my first one after 3 months, but usually those lives are Monday and Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central European live, and I usually do them while I'm working out. I'm also going to look into get some people in the live with me. So cooperating with other influencers. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.